collapse, which is the plan. Then they'll bring martial law in. Immigrant teen claims he was mistreated by border officials and put in a cold cell. Oh, my gosh. Which, again, they knock your teeth out in Mexico. Why is it only bad when something happens here? Shock, 80% of U.S. population growth is from immigrants, resources being sucked dry. Washington Examiner breaks it down. Voter ID law upheld in Wisconsin Supreme Court. Photo identification is a condition of our times because the Democrats are on record with their Blue State initiative saying they're going to give the illegals driver's license to vote, and they've been caught everywhere doing it. That's what's happening. Game over. I can handle giving the illegals welfare. That's bad enough, but at least they spend the money in the economy. It's not some banker bailout, so it's not the worst form of welfare if you look at the economics. But the issue is they're voting 9-1 to take my guns and to follow a socialist authoritarian plan. That's exactly what all the patriots warned of, that if we ever became socialist, we would become communist because the other group can vote all your money away to them. It's legalized theft, ladies and gentlemen, with the government trying to organize Hispanics into basically Hispanic Ku Klux Klan groups. Viva la Raza, down with gringos, yeah, you people are ugly. I can play the clips right now if you want. And I'm supposed to, I mean, it's just the same trashy type, you know, folks that you find the Klan made up of. I mean, you take a Klan member versus one of these La Raza members, and I mean, they ought to get along really well. They're just a bunch of scum. Let's go ahead and go to the next piece here. But see, it's kosher and promoted in the media if you're part of the Hispanic Klan. Voter ID law upheld by Wisconsin Supreme Court. Source, feds an emergency order of 8,000 GPS tags for illegal immigrants. 1,000 children fleeing violent Honduras, heading to violent Chicago. CNS News, yeah. Rahm Emanuel says, come up here, we love you. Yeah, he loves taxpayer money in a city that's the crime capital of the world where nobody can have guns. They're fleeing one tyranny into another tyranny. That's the only place in the U.S. worse than Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, or Guatemala. The only place they can go worse. Out of the fire, into the frying pan, as they say. Rahm Emanuel wants to bring this country down. He says the city of big hearts will welcome 1,000 migrant children, selling the idea, come more, as the propaganda cover for all the gangs and criminals and mules and weapons and Pakistanis connected to terrorism and Iraqis, and just it's all happening. Total joke while the government spies on citizens. Now, we go to investigative journalist John Rappaport for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then we'll take your phone calls on all this and more, on Ebola, on the borders, all of it. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. First-time callers again, folks. John, we're going to break here in a few minutes. I appreciate you coming on short notice. Your article from NoMoreFakeNews.com is up on Infowars.com. Is it Ebola or is it psychological warfare? Was the question that you posed, compadre. And so I wanted to get your take. Give us your preface first. We'll come back and detail it.
Okay, Alex. Basically, we got about 800 cases, 500 confirmed deaths, supposedly from Ebola. The same organization that's generating those statistics, the World Health Organization, will tell you that every year in the world, between 3 and 5 million people die from regular seasonal flu. Cases of regular seasonal flu, and between 250,000 and 500,000 deaths every year from regular old ordinary flu. That's not one time, that's every single year. Do they call that an epidemic, a pandemic, an outbreak, anything? No, they don't call it anything. The press doesn't say anything. Nothing happens. And yet, when they're reporting 800 cases, 500 deaths, all of a sudden it's going to destroy the whole world. Is it a psychological operation? You bet.
Well, I tend to agree with you, but usually they hype it up when there's 10 deaths, 500 deaths, 800 cases. They're now saying there could be as many as 30,000 people that have been exposed or infected. That's in British papers. But I agree. Overall, it has a PSYOP look to it because I know for a fact that Ebola, these monkey viruses, were basically toyed with in labs in the 60s. That's been confirmed that there's links to bioweapons.
Question: could too many GMO foods and toxins be overloading your digestive and immune systems? Answer: yes. If you're searching for a powerful detox that's gentle enough to use every day, use Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Pro-EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic that uses good bacteria to suppress pathogens and gently eliminate toxins from your body. A healthy digestive system will cleanse and remove toxins, support weight loss, improve absorption of food nutrients, and aid in controlling yeast and other infections. Pro-EM1 is made with only non-GMO and certified organic ingredients, has no preservatives, and is dairy, soy, wheat, and gluten-free. Pro-EM1 is the key to your digestive health. Order Pro-EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse at Teraganix.com, spelled Teraganix.com, or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Also available through Amazon Prime. Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Life's getting better.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Do you ever feel like you live in an alternate universe? As the stock market hits new highs, the middle class are dying. Manipulated financial markets and economic figures, chaos on our border, China and Russia bypassing the dollar. Life is getting ready to change. You need to prepare to thrive in the new economy. Go to babyboomerbackupplan.com or call 888-507-8789. That's 888-507-8789.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Investigative journalist Jon Rappaport's our guest. Again, I'm your host, Alex Jones. John, I have a headline here out of the Mirror, and granted, the Mirror is a, quote, tabloid, but not like the Inquirer or News of the World. I see more credible articles in it a lot of times than I see in what you'd call mainstream British news. But Nigeria's special advisor on public health, Dr. Yawidi Adesanya, said we're actually looking at contacting over 30,000 people that potentially could have been exposed or gotten it. Now, is that hype to get more funding to the country? Or should we be really concerned? Because Germany's reportedly taking patients into the country. I think that's very reckless. And then there's the background reason I'm concerned, John, is that there is a history of this being connected to bioweapons research. It's not conclusive like polio or conclusive like HIV, but the studies were there, just like the CIA studied weaponized cancer.
Okay, so let's thing in the UK. This is what it's really all about. The Cobra Group, which is this elite sort of cabinet group, met because one guy that is claimed to have died from Ebola, named Patrick Sawyer, flew to a few airports, okay? So now they're saying, all of a sudden, well, he might have been in contact with people who were in contact with people, et cetera, up to 30,000. Now we have to actually try to track down 30,000 people and see what's happening with them. This is all fear-mongering, scare tactics, shut down the country, restrict travel, impose martial law, emergencies, all of this kind of thing. Because, as I said in the last segment, if you look at the World Health Organization stats on deaths from regular, ordinary flu every year in the world, it's between 250,000 and 5. Contact all their contacts. You want to contact maybe, I don't know, 500 million people around the world because they might have come in contact with somebody who died from regular flu. This whole thing is upside down and inside out. And we've seen this before with swine flu, which was a dud, West Nile, which was a dud, bird flu, which was a dud, SARS, which was a dud. They were all promoted as, this is it, folks. This is the one. This is going to kill everybody. And then all of a sudden it petered out. And in fact, the Centers for Disease Control in the summer of 2009 stopped counting swine flu cases in America because they knew that most of the people who were getting tested in hospitals didn't have any kind of flu whatsoever. And this story was exposed by CBS News' Sharyl Attkisson. You want to know one of the reasons she was really fired? Because she exposed this huge con by the CDC. And they shut her down for it. And the CDC went double down and say, we think there's probably 10 million cases of swine flu in America, which was completely insane, no basis in fact whatsoever. So until we see some more information on this, to say that supposedly 800 cases in the world of Ebola and 400 to 500 deaths is going to, destroy the world, or we should declare it a pandemic, you have to look at these other factors here, and people aren't doing it. So I see a tremendous amount of fear-mongering here.
Well, I agree with you, and certainly they were caught red-handed. Even the European Commission admitted it. Hyping the swine flu was really a flu simulant synthetic virus they designed that actually weakened your immune system 50% to the real flu. Even medical doctors admit 30,000 people don't die in the U.S. a year from flu. People that have kidney failure, organ failure, that are 85 years old or 2 years old, who have HIV, who are already compromised, then die in the hospital, and they just call it flu. Or when some airborne bacteria kills you in the hospital, they just call it flu. The truth is, flu is a giant hype. So I see the parallel, and I sure hope you're right about this Ebola situation. I just know people like Dr. Pianka, who's a top globalist involved in the eugenics movement. He licks his lips and says, soon the airborne Ebola will be released. And so there are a lot of creepy insiders licking their lips concerning Ebola.
Yeah, no question about it. And you're absolutely right about the flu. You see, one thing that most people don't understand is you got to make a test, a diagnostic test, to really diagnose anybody with anything. And these diets can be faked, they can be slanted. Some of them are inherently unreliable. Like
all right, John. Well, even though our Skype connection to you is breaking up, you've done a great job. We're going to get our Skype fixed on our end and get you back on for a full hour soon. Maybe we should set him up for Sunday if he wants to do it. That's a good idea to have John on for an hour, but maybe phone since our Skype doesn't work anymore. I'm told it's on our end. NoMoreFakeNews.com. Thank you so much, Jon Rappoport. We'll be right back with your phone calls, a ton of news, and more straight ahead. The Ebola may be hype, but the collapse of the border is not. It's real.
We're on the